They sold you a dream. It's a beautiful picture. You've seen it 1,000 times. A man with a touch of gray at his temples stands on a pristine white sand beach. He's holding hands with his wife, both of them smiling, not a care in the world. The sun is setting over a turquoise ocean, casting a golden glow on their faces. This, they told you, is retirement. This is the reward you get for 40 years of hard work. It's the finish line, the grand prize. All you have to do is follow the plan, save your money in a special account, and wait. Wait until you're 65, and this postcard life will be yours, guaranteed. The sales pitch for retirement begins early. It's subtle at first. You hear it from your parents, you hear it from your teachers, you hear it from your guidance counselors. Get a good job with a good company, they say. Find something with a pension plan or a 401k. The message is clear. Don't build a life you love now. Secure a comfortable life for a distant future you. You are taught to value security over freedom, stability over passion. Then the professionals step in. They come armed with charts, they bring graphs, they use complicated sounding terms. They talk about compound interest. They talk about asset allocation, small, regular investments. They show projections. Decades later, $1 million number on a chart. They never talk about the risks. They never mention the fees that eat away returns. They keep pointing to the finish line, age 65. They call it a nest egg. What does that make you think of? Something precious, something delicate. Stay the course, they tell you. Even when the market is crashing, be a passive investor. Set it and forget it. Why? Because an active, engaged man threatens their system. This system makes you a cog in a machine. Your role is simple. Work, consume, save. You work a job you probably don't love to earn money. You spend a large portion of that money on things you don't need, and you save a small sliver in accounts you can't touch for decades. It benefits your employer. It benefits the big corporations. It benefits Wall Street. The only person it doesn't truly benefit is you. You're trading your one life for a sales pitch, a promise of someday that may never come. Every contract has fine print. The retirement contract you signed up for is no different. The first and most devastating truth is inflation. The $1 million they promised you would have at 65 sounds like a lot of money today, but what will it be worth in 30 or 40 years? Inflation is a silent thief that creeps in every single year, stealing the purchasing power of your savings. The financial industry knows this, of course, but do they put that on the front of the brochure? No. When you factor in decades of rising costs for everything, food, housing, energy, transportation, that nest egg starts to look a lot smaller. Then there is the issue of taxes. But think about it for a second. What are the odds that tax rates will be lower in the future than they are today? With government debt soaring into the trillions, it's far more likely that taxes will be significantly higher 30 years from now. The final piece of the fine print is the most brutal of all: medical costs. The retirement dream is sold to you with the image of a healthy, vibrant 65-year-old. But the reality is that our bodies wear down. A single unexpected medical event, heart attack, cancer diagnosis, serious fall, can wipe out a lifetime of savings in a matter of months. Medicare helps, but it doesn't cover everything. Far from it. The out-of-pocket costs for supplemental insurance, long-term care, and prescription drugs can be astronomical. The picture-perfect retirement on the beach doesn't include a hospital bed, but for millions, that is the harsh reality. The first crack shows up in your late 40s or early 50s. Not an earthquake, a small tremor. A colleague a few years older gets laid off. He did everything right, loyal for 25 years. Too young to retire, too old to easily find a new job. You see the fear in his eyes. Another crack appears with aging parents. They did everything right too. Now in their 70s, in their 80s, money is running out. A cold whisper of doubt. If this is happening to them, what about me? These are wake-up calls. Glimpses behind the retirement fantasy curtain. You pay closer attention. The foundation of your life plan shows serious cracks. The rude awakening is when the small cracks in the foundation shatter completely. This often happens as you get within 5 to 10 years of your target retirement date. You sit down, maybe for the first time, with a real calculator and a sharp pencil. You start to run the numbers for yourself, without the glossy brochures and optimistic projections from your financial advisor. And then, a cold, sickening feeling washes over you. The numbers don't add up, not even close. That nest egg that looked so large on paper suddenly seems terrifyingly small when you divide it by the number of years you might live. You had visions of traveling the world, but your budget shows you might not even be able to afford to visit your grandkids. You dreamed of freedom from financial stress, but the spreadsheets are screaming that your retirement will be a tightrope walk of scarcity. The so-called safe withdrawal rate of 4% means you can take out $30,000 a year. That's just $2,500 a month, before taxes. Can you live on that? Mortgage, property taxes, insurance, utilities, car payments, rising medical bills. The life they sold you is a lie. The math proves it. It led you down a path for 40 years, promising a paradise at the end only to reveal a cliff. You realize that retirement isn't a finish line. It's a trap. The dream is dead. The question now is, what are you going to do about it? The retirement promise is not something that grew organically. No, it was manufactured. It was built piece by piece in the boardrooms of Wall Street and on Madison Avenue. It is a product, meticulously designed, aggressively sold to the masses. They could get millions of working men to hand over a portion of their hard-earned money, every single payday, for 40 years. It is the most brilliant and most profitable business model ever conceived. They started by creating a universal enemy, a destitute and lonely old age. Once that fear was firmly planted in your mind, they presented their product as the one and only cure. They gave you a simple path to follow, a yellow brick road leading directly to the Emerald City of financial security. You are not the customer, you are the raw material. This creates a state of dependency. You have outsourced the responsibility for your own freedom to a system that sees you not as a man, but as an account number. Beyond the slick marketing campaigns, the retirement promise is woven into the very fabric of our society. It's an unwritten social contract that we are all expected to sign. From a young age, you are taught the proper sequence of life: school, career, retirement. This social pressure is immense. To deviate from it feels like you are doing something wrong. This pact of deferral demands that you sacrifice your present for your future. You are encouraged to take the stable job with good benefits over the risky venture you are passionate about. Why? Because the risky venture doesn't have a 401k match. Your dreams, your passions, and your desire for freedom now are all placed on the sacrificial altar of someday. Success is no longer measured by your character. It is measured by the size of your retirement account. Your net worth becomes your self-worth. To ensure you never stray from the designated path, the system deploys its most powerful tool, the voice of authority. Experts all sing from the same hymn sheet. Stay the course is their mantra. The effect: your judgment is paralyzed. You stop trusting your gut. The man who can build a house is made to feel like a child with finances. This learned helplessness underpins the advisory industry. They are amplified 1,000 times over by the media echo chamber. The media echo chamber makes the retirement promise the only story you hear. It drowns out dissenting voices. The retirement promise is sealed with a corporate handshake. It is presented as a gift. It's free money, they say. You'd be crazy not to take it. This immediately hooks you into the system. The 401k shifts all of the risk from the company to you. Whether your investments soar or crash and burn is entirely your problem. Furthermore, the 401k plan serves as a retention tool. It creates what is known as golden handcuffs. Many plans have a vesting schedule. This encourages you to stay in a job you might otherwise leave. The 401k is a chain, forged by your employer, that links you to your desk. A key part of the modern retirement promise is the illusion of control it gives you. This sense of choice makes you feel like you are in command of your financial future. But this control is a carefully constructed illusion. You are confined to a tiny, walled garden that was built by someone else. The rise of target date funds is the ultimate expression of this. This is the set it and forget it option. It guarantees you remain a passive passenger, trusting a computer algorithm with your entire life savings. It is the peak of outsourcing your freedom. The retirement promise is not a sudden shock to your system. It is a slow boil. You accept the long commute as normal. You accept the stressful deadlines as normal. You are trading little pieces of your life today for a big payoff tomorrow. Your life becomes a series of whens, a perpetual waiting game. You are always living for the future, never in the present. After 20 or 30 years of this slow boil, the sacrifice feels completely normal. You have been fully cooked. That reality is inflation. Inflation is a silent, invisible fire burning through your savings year after year. You thought you were running a marathon, but you were actually on a treadmill that was slowly accelerating backward. This isn't a small, manageable fire. It's a wildfire threatening everything you've built. The cost of long-term care is the hammer that pulverizes the fragile nest egg. A single prolonged illness can trigger a financial catastrophe from which there is no recovery. You can watch 40 years of diligent saving evaporate in just 24 months. So you are faced with a cruel choice. You discover a horrifying truth. It was a mirage. This is called sequence of returns risk. A crash in year 1 wipes out 40% of your capital. You still have to account for the silent partners who have their hands in your pocket. One of modern medicine's greatest triumphs has become one of retirement's greatest curses: longevity. Your savings become a leaking bucket. The golden years become the years of fear. They came up with something called the safe withdrawal rate. The most common version is the 4% rule. It's not a law of physics, just a historical observation that may not repeat. Betting your life's savings on history repeating is a reckless gamble. Now, even creators warn the safe rate may be closer to 3% or less. A 25% pay cut before you even start. What you were actually doing was building a massive, ticking tax time bomb in the middle of your life savings. You have a partnership with the government. It does not belong to you. It belongs to Uncle Sam. Reality is chaotic, unpredictable, and punctuated by black swan events. The dot-com bust of 2000, the September 11th attacks, the financial crisis of 2008, the global pandemic of 2020. The traditional retirement model is a glass house built on a fault line. He can only watch as the tidal wave approaches, knowing his entire life's work is about to be washed away. This is the grim destination where the path of the retirement lie ultimately leads. The picture-perfect postcard of retirement has faded to a dull, miserable gray. The beach is still there, but you can't afford to go. The loving spouse is still by your side, but your conversations are no longer about which cruise to take. They are about which prescriptions you can afford to skip this month. You are not free, you are trapped. In that moment, the denial shatters. The dam doesn't just crack, it bursts. You are left standing in the wreckage, drenched in the cold, brutal floodwaters of the truth. It is often replaced by a deeper, more corrosive emotion: shame. This shame is a silent killer. It forces you into isolation. After the shame comes the regret. It's a haunting, relentless echo. The payment you were supposed to receive at the end of the transaction has been declared fraudulent. You are standing on a lonely island of truth, surrounded by an ocean of people who are still lost in the retirement fantasy. Another emotion begins to boil its way to the surface: white-hot anger. This anger, if channeled correctly, can be the spark that ignites a revolution in his own life. The mental anguish of your financial ruin is attacking your heart, the very engine of your life. The lie is literally killing you. You are left in a state of quiet despair, looking into the abyss of a future you never imagined. It is at this crossroads, staring into the abyss, that a man must make the most important decision of his life. This is the centurion's choice, the defiant refusal to be a victim.
I am responsible. It begins with a simple, powerful declaration. I am responsible. Not I am to blame, but I am responsible for what happens next.
You are a warrior, battle-tested and ready for a new campaign. It is a campaign for freedom. The centurion's first act of war is not waged against the outside world, but against his own life. That daily $5 coffee? It's a link in the chain. The brand new car with a high monthly payment? A thick, heavy chain. This is not about poverty, it is about strategy. Every dollar you free up from the expense column is a new soldier you can deploy in the income column. You cannot win a war by playing defense alone. The second and most critical front is offense, the active, relentless creation of new income streams. His goal isn't a pile to spend down. It's a river of money that never stops flowing. Where does this income come from? From leveraging what you have in abundance, a lifetime of knowledge and experience. Options are endless once you stop thinking like an employee and start thinking like an entrepreneur. In the Centurion's world, every single dollar is a soldier. Your job is to be the general. This means embracing the art of the hustle. You are always looking for opportunities. You are no longer just a consumer. You are a producer. The Centurion seeks to build a fortress of freedom with assets he can see, touch, and control. The cornerstone is often real estate, a paid-for modest home that eliminates your biggest monthly expense forever, a stockpile of skills that are always in demand. These skills can't be wiped out in a market crash or outsourced. The Centurion sleeps well at night because he trusts the solid walls of the fortress he built with his own 2 hands. The Centurion path is hard, and it is not meant to be walked alone. The Centurion way is to break that isolation and forge a new brotherhood. This is the Brotherhood Hammer used to smash the old lies and forge a new way of life. This new code has simple, unbreakable rules. First, we tell the truth, especially about money. Second, we hold each other accountable. Finally, we build and we contribute. We build a parallel economy, a network of trust where we do business with each other, hire each other, and invest in each other. The retirement lie sells you a selfish dream, a legacy of scarcity. He is not building a nest egg to be consumed. He is planting an orchard that will bear fruit for generations. His legacy is not a check, but a playbook. Your legacy becomes a firewall, protecting your family from the lies of the world for generations to come. You are standing between the hammer and the anvil. You can lie still and be smashed, or you can pick up a hammer of your own and begin to forge a new destiny. Choosing the Centurion way is the harder path. They understand that the pain of discipline is temporary, but the pain of regret lasts forever. The single most dangerous idea within the retirement lie is the concept of a finish line. Freedom is not a destination you reach at 65. Freedom is a practice you engage in every single day. This is a call to arms, a call for a new generation of men to rise up. This is a call for you to become an unbreakable man. He is a man who simply refuses to stay down. Becoming this man requires you to declare your independence. Do not finish this message and say, "That was interesting, I'll think about that tomorrow." There is only now. So what are you going to do, right now today, before your head hits the pillow tonight? Retirement is a lie, freedom is built, and it is built now. Not tomorrow, not next week, not next year, now.